Sup geeks and welcome back! So Valentine's is just around the corner and honestly I'm not a huge fan, but well, I have this rescue Laguna girl here waiting to be customized. You guys love the idea of more candy themed fairies, and I think this was the perfect excuse to add a chocolate fairy to this new series. Also, I think Laguna is just so beautiful and eerie at the same time, like she has the perfect face mold for a cute pixie. So after looking for some inspiration, let's see my concept art. And this is the design I came up with. As in the Peppermint Fairy doll, I didn't want her to look like she's dressed in chocolate, but more like her own body is made of different types of chocolate. I really love chocolate truffles and how many textures, drizzles, swirls and different tones you can see when you open up a box. So that's it, and now that I have a concept, let's start working on the doll. Let's get this doll ready to customize, erasing the factory paint using pure acetone and cotton balls. I will also get rid of her hair. And now that we have a clean canvas, I will also get rid of her molded on fins. She won't need the interdigital skin either. She won't be an aquatic creature anymore. And now she's ready to get the ballerina feet treatment. I really want her to match my previous Peppermint Fairy. So, using the Dremel tool first, I will cut the point of her feet. Then using hot glue, I will temporarily reattach the feet, this time at the classic point paws. And then I will finally seal everything using epoxy sculpt. You know, smoothing the surface and trying to make the transitions as seamless as possible. She really looks so ethereal now. Of course she's a fairy, and she needs the classic fairy, pixie, elvish ears, which for some reason I just love. Sculpting elf ears is not that hard and can be accomplished in just a few minutes. The only thing that makes it a little bit difficult is trying to get the right symmetry. Don't forget to always brush the wet epoxy so you don't have to sand it afterwards. And now the epoxy is fully cured, it's time to bring all this chocolate fantasy to life. As in the Peppermint Fairy, I will be sculpting all the details using epoxy sculpt. Of course, if you're not into sculpting or epoxy sculpt in general, you can avoid all this hard work and go straight to the painting. A good paint job sometimes emulates to perfection molded on details. But, you know, in my honest opinion, taking the time to 3D sculpt all these dripping and drizzles and swirls, it just brings this fantasy to a whole new level. It will really look like it's really there, you know. Always be careful when sculpting with epoxy close to the joints. We sure want to keep the doll's articulation. So, you know, just be careful and clean everything using a wet brush. When sculpting all the chocolate dripping on her head, I realized that this peekaboo style is completely covered in one eye, which it's really cool I guess. I really like peekaboo styles, but well, I will only have to paint one eye, I think. I swear it was not intentional at all, I just designed it that way without thinking too much on the materialized product, but well, let's just embrace it, you know. I will add another layer of drippings just to make it more realistic. And now that the first layer of sculpting is fully cured, let's go even further and start sculpting all the chocolate decorations. I have to say this part was really fun because, well, you can see no high skills were required. It's just thin threads of epoxy and try to make it look like all that cute drizzles we can see and enjoy when we open up a box of chocolate truffles. And well, it's the next day and the whole work is fully cured. I will use some super light air dry clay to make the two giant chocolate truffles bones she has on her head. And oh my gosh, this looks so edible. I'm getting her ready for the paint job, but first I will use a brown permanent marker on her articulation areas. This way there won't be any paint chipping off the joints. So yeah, it's time to unleash the acrylics and make all these molded on details to make sense with the colors. I know I have said this a lot of times, but I will just repeat it just in case this is the first time someone is watching my videos. When fully recoloring dolls with acrylics, I always use watercolor brushes. It's really important don't mistake this with mixed media brushes. Watercolor brushes are really soft and fluffy, and they are the best brushes you can use to recolor a doll using acrylics. With these brushes you won't get visible brush strokes. So yeah, I think this is really good info, and I just like to always let you guys know. And I have to say, even if it looks easy, painting all these 3D details sometimes it's really hard and time consuming. But in the end, it will pay off, I promise. And now I'm taking some time to blush some areas using soft pastels. I will seal everything with Mr. Super Clear this time. Because, you know, unlike candy, chocolate is not glossy, so I want to keep this opaque texture. And it's time to finally start the face up. I won't lie, somewhere deep within myself I feel like I'm cheating this time. It feels weirdly easy only having to draw one eye, and I don't have to deal with symmetry, but as I said, it was totally not intentional, and well, let's just embrace it, you know, her peekaboo design, which I really think is adorable, by the way. Fun fact, this is so ironic, but in all my repaints history, this is the only repaint I had to repeat twice. Mostly because I get too confident only having to paint one eye and I didn't make any previous sketch. In all my repaints, I always make a little sketch using my tablet, just to have an idea, you know. And honestly, I'm not so good improvising. And in this doll, I just remembered that. So yeah, my first attempt was all over the place, and I kept convincing myself that it was all good, but no. I ended up making a sketch, erasing the face, and repeating everything again. Of course, what you're watching belongs to the second repaint. There's no need to bore you all with my mistakes. While designing this doll, I always had one thing in mind. I really wanted her to look like related to my Peppermint Fairy doll. You know, like it belongs to the same series, like they're sisters or cousins. But at the same time, I really didn't want to repeat the same silhouette again. And it was kind of a challenge, but I think I managed to do it. You will see them both side by side at the end of this video, so keep watching, keep watching. If you've been following my work, you will notice that for some reason lately, I've been into this kind of super blush, gradient-like face-ups with super colorful graphic eyelashes and eyebrows. I don't know why, but I'm really enjoying them. Yeah, this is what doll customizing is about. Explore new things, getting out of the same niche and comfort zone we've been in like for some time. You know, it's just about having fun and explore, discover, and reinvent yourself from time to time. Do you like to explore new techniques you fell in love with? You know, if you have your story, drop your comment down below. I promise I always read all of them. And I am now just giving the final touches, adding some little tiny white freckles to her face to make it cuter. And finally, it's time for the catch lights, which I like them huge, very anime style. Now that the face up is finally done, it's time to move on to the final details. I grab a little piece of cute light air dry clay and I'm cutting into tiny little pieces to simulate those chocolate crumbs we can see decorating some of the truffles. And oh my gosh, I feel like I'm actually decorating some real chocolate truffles here. But I'm really loving how realistic it's turning out, plus it adds some cool textures to the surface. For the wings, I made this piece that will hold the wings out of epoxy and soft wire. I also made a pattern out of paper. And just like in the Peppermint Fairy, I will be using super light air dry clay to make the wings because I need them very lightweighted and flexible for possibility. I just need to trace the shape of the pattern, which this type of clay makes the process so much easier. it won't even damage the paper pattern. After I trace all the 4 wings, I let them to cure for 24 hours. Once fully cured, you can see they remain flexible and posable, so I just need to attach them to the soft wire structure. I'm using Clear Grip Gorilla Glue for this. Once attached, I will hide the wires using a little bit more of the same clay. Once cured, it's time to bring them to life. For the wings, I really want to add some colors because she's full of chocolate tones, and I think pink and red and heart shapes are also very representative of all the Valentine stuff. Don't forget to paint the reverse of the wings as well. And I really wanted to use this glitter glue I have had for years, and I'm so excited! I think it looks cute, but it was kinda underwhelming. It looks better in the bottle. So after all the hard work, we get to this point where we have all the different parts. We just need to assemble her. For this, I will be using hot glue. I will attach the pom-poms on her feet, the 2 giant chocolate buns on her head, and I will use a velcro dot to make the wings detachable. And now we're done! So let me know in the comments which other candy or dessert would you like to see as a fairy? And as I always say, I'm really thankful if you're one of the few that make it here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment and share if you like it. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet and love this content, please do. Also stop by my Instagram, we also had some fun there. Well, that's all for today. Until the next time, bye!